Did Megyn Kelly play it too safe when she finally got a face-to-face with Trump? And why Blac Chyna's golden ticket might be a one-way to her life's curse. This is KALIMA KAM. So first of all, I am blown away that a person like Trump would actually go on an interview with someone that he considers an enemy. I was really surprised that despite all of that controversy that he stirred up happily, he decided to go on an interview.
And nothing is off limits.
Which is extremely hard to believe. But he nervously went on, and honestly, my reaction was that it was an overall pretty good interview. Yes, it was short, but I feel like any interviewer who knows that they have a time limit on the questions that they can ask for someone as high profile as him are going to be straight to the point and really strategic. I could tell that Megyn Kelly was trying to get Trump to admit to his negative style of speaking, and honestly, ultimately try to get him to be a little sincere about the way that he uses his power. All the violence that goes on at his speaking engagements, she wanted him to fess up and stop trying to push it under the rug as if it's nothing. But that actually didn't work well at all.
Now, so close to the Oval Office, whether you will take that responsibility seriously and change your tone to try to be more unifying and less divisive.
I do take it very seriously, and I understand what's going on. And when I see the fervor, when I see 25,000 people that have seats and not one person during an hour speech will sit down. I say, sit down, everybody, sit down, and they don't sit down. They refuse to sit down. I mean, that's a great compliment. But I do understand the power of the message. There's no question about it.
If there's anyone who's a master at dodging questions, it's Trump.
Have you made any mistakes in this campaign? You had said publicly you thought the retweet about Heidi Cruz was a mistake. Let me just...
Well, I said I could have done without it, to be exact. I mean, I could have done without it.
You said a mistake. Are you walking that back?
No, I'm not walking it back, but I actually didn't say it that way. I said I could have done without it. I mean,
but it was a mistake, wasn't it? I mean, that you shouldn't have done that,
I wish
right?
I didn't do it. Although, you know, I guess you could say she's fair game because she's very much involved with the campaign. But I don't know. She just seems like a nice woman. Well, you know what? I have millions of followers at Real Donald Trump.
My head was literally spinning as I listened to him constantly work around every question, try to sugarcoat an answer. I mean, she even called him out for calling her a bimbo, and he ignorantly tried to act as if he didn't remember that.
Bimbo?
Well, there was a retweet, yeah. Did I say that?
Many times.
Ooh, okay.
Anyone with a minimal sense of morals would know that when you take responsibility, you don't make little side remarks to sort of justify your own actions.
Over your life, Megyn, you've been called a lot worse. Is that right? Wouldn't you say? You know, you've had a life that's not been that easy. And
it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about the messaging to young girls and to other women.
It's a certain amount of fighting back. You know, it's a modern day form of fighting back. I mean,
and he's winning. But here's the question that nearly made me fall out of my seat.
Has anyone ever hurt you emotionally?
The fact that you're asking another human if they've been affected emotionally proves that Trump is clearly a person who does not like to admit to having natural human characteristics, as if he's above mortality. It's almost as if he grew up with lack of affirmation for his successes, never being enough maybe for his parents, never being able to live up to the legacy that his family left for him. And so every time someone tries to point the finger, he dodges it, sues, does whatever he can do to make him innocent and to make you look like a fool. Actually, here's what I mean.
When I'm wounded, I go after people hard, okay? And I try and unwound myself.
He admits to using his financial power to get what he wants by any means necessary. Even if he hurts or takes something personal, he knows the one power that he does have is monetary. I mean, this man has the largest amount of arrogance and ego that I personally have ever seen. He even calls his supporters fans.
I have fans, you probably learned, and I didn't do this for this reason, but when you and I were having our little difficulty, you probably had some pretty nasty tweets sent your way. I don't want to say, but I've heard that. I don't want that to happen, but I have fans, they really love. We have an unbelievable bond.
Okay, fans, I would love to hear from you. Do you like being called fans, or are you really a political supporter of his? Now, Wendy Williams pointed out that she thought that Megyn Kelly was flirting with him. I didn't see that at all. I think Wendy was misinterpreting her laughs, you know, her giggles, her smile. I think Megyn Kelly just really wanted Trump to feel comfortable and kind of strategically come off as a friendly interviewer. I want to be friends with you. I don't want you to walk off this set. I don't want you to use your power and maybe cancel this entire opportunity that I have with you. And for some reason, Wendy Williams was also surprised by this answer Trump gave.
If I don't go all the way and if I don't win, I will consider it to be a total and complete waste of time, energy, and money.
Duh. He's a businessman before everything. He admits that he treats every single inch of his life as a business contract. Trump is no stranger to paying people to do and think for him. He's even admitted to spending the most on this campaign, probably in history. In comparison to his previous contenders, every president and presidential candidate has said it's the hardest job ever. So of course it's a waste of time and it's a waste of money. He's not doing it for nothing, and I know he expects to win or off with his head! Wendy just felt that Megyn should have had the attitude that she does in the debates. But this is a completely different arena, and being a woman at the debates amongst all of these men, she had to come off hard and strong and sort of strategic in the way that she asks her questions. But I don't think it takes away from the way that she asked her questions in this interview. She clearly knows what she's talking about. And at the end of the day, she did ask the questions that everybody wanted to hear, especially questions that were relevant to their personal situation. There always has to be a strategy and a technique in the way that you interview. Perhaps Trump's only weakness is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed lady with a beautiful smile. Rob and Black Chyna. Oh my goodness. Their life, our entertainment. Even though we all knew she was gonna get pregnant at some point, definitely didn't expect it to be this soon. I think it probably proves that this was a part of her plan all along, and she didn't waste any time. But honestly, some call her a gold digger and some call her a genius. They think that she succeeded at the ultimate payback from Tyga. But let's be so real. If you watch her snaps, see her interviews, since this whole relationship happened, she doesn't seem like she's insanely in love. She actually just seems really well rested from all the spa treatments she's been on. But anyone who fakes love will soon be running for the hills. Now don't get me wrong, some people can actually force themselves to fall in love with someone and then truly have genuine feelings for them. But out of all the men in the world, you going for Rob Kardashian, especially after all this time because she was friends with Kim. So unless they had a fling back then, she definitely up and decided to use her feminine power, shall we say, on vulnerable Rob. Rob is blinded by the power of her femininity. And honey, please believe clouded eyes will eventually become clear, especially when you throw a baby in the mix. That is an investment you cannot take back. Yes, it seems beautiful and sweet and new and dreamy and peaches and cream now, but eventually these polar opposite families and lifestyles are going to clash because this baby is in the middle of it all. But you know what? Some women think it's worth it to go through heartache for a little bit more success. And when I say success, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about fame. Because let's be real, Chyna didn't need money. Everybody's open to a little bit more. But with fame always comes success. Chyna already had her own investment companies coming along. Some may even say full-blown successful. But let's be real, any press is good press when it comes to being a socialite. And with fame comes money. So I can guarantee guarantee you, if it's an excuse or not, Chyna will always blame her come up and her income on her products, not her relationship. I don't buy this whole thing that Kylie and her have been besties all along. I bet they're not besties now that Tyga and Kylie broke up. Let's be real, she can care less about all of them. She don't need them. She did it without them. Tried to get in with Kim, didn't work. The easy target is to go for the vulnerable one. But Kim says herself, she doesn't care what it takes to get Rob out of the house in the way he used to be. She should care what it takes, because not everything is healthy for you. And if you really loved your brother, you would want him to be leaving one situation into a better one. Not just another one that may hit him harder than the issues that he had before and take him into an even deeper depression. But one thing I must say about Blac Chyna, although she's a superstar male manipulator, her friend Amber Rose made a really good point about double standards. Amber Rose went on social media and said, how is it okay for a man to ask for sex for next to nothing, but if a woman asks for him to buy her her own boutique in her name, she's a prostitute? She made a good point that if you really value yourself and your worth, you can ask for whatever you want and he can't get nothing until you get all of those things. Call me a gold digger, call me whatever you want. And that's the level of worth that I hold myself at. And a dinner ain't gonna cut it. I'm not saying that I personally would ask for all of those material things, because quite frankly, I believe all material things are temporary anyway. But I think that every woman should be able to get whatever she wants, whether it's monetarily, emotionally. She should be able to ask what she wants first before he gets anything. But above all, this entire situation makes me really feel for this unborn child. Why selfishly bring a child in the middle of all of this? If you've been watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the way that Rob isn't talking to Khloe, who took him in for so long and looked after him, the way that he gave away Kendall's gift as a gift to Chyna.
One, I'm annoyed. Two, I'm actually hurt that you re-gifted my gift that I went out of the way to give you.
And the way he treats his mom, and now she buys him a house and he's all hugged up with her. Not only should that be a wake-up call for Chyna and the man that she's about to marry and have a child with, but it also goes to show that this baggage, this drama, this trash is only going to put this unborn baby in the center. And that's so unfortunate. But I believe that everything happens for a reason. And if that child is meant to be born, it will be born.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and comment. Follow me at KALIMA Music Art Wisdom. And remember, overall, it's all over love.